We now need a definition before we do our next example. The definition says, an isosceles triangle is a triangle in which two of the sides have equal lengths. An isosceles triangle is a triangle in which two of the sides have equal lengths. Our next example says, in an isosceles triangle, well, of course this means the triangle we'll be working with has two sides with equal lengths. Each of the equal sides is 60% of the third side. In an isosceles triangle, each of the equal sides is 60% of the third side. The perimeter is 33 meters. Find the length of each side. In an isosceles triangle, each of the equal sides is 60% of the third side. The perimeter is 33 meters. Find the length of each side. Let's begin, as usual, by drawing a picture. We have an isosceles triangle. That means that two of the sides are supposed to be the same length. A little symbol we use for marking things that are the same length in geometry is to put a little tick mark on each of the things that matches. One tick mark on this side, one tick mark on this side. That tells a reader at a glance that these two sides are the same length. If we had two other things that were the same length, we could put double tick marks on each of them, or triple tick marks on each of them, and so on. Well, we need expressions for our first, second, and third sides. We're told that each of the equal sides is 60% of the third side. So the third side is the thing we're basing everything upon. That means the third side will be just the letter x. Each of the equal sides, well, that means the first and the second would be the equal sides, and each of those is 60% of the third side. 60% of a number means 60% times the number, and so we'll multiply 60% times x. But remember that a percent must be written in decimal form. 60% is, we'll move the decimal 2 places to the left, dividing by 100, and we get 0.60, or simply 0.6. So our first side is 0.6 times x, 60% of x. The second side is exactly the same thing. Isosceles triangle, the first and second sides are identical. Now the perimeter, we're told, is 33 meters, and so we're ready to add up our three sides and get the 33. So the first one, 6/10 x. The second one, 6/10 x. The third one, simply x. Combining like terms and remembering that this x is 1x, we'll add 6/10 plus 6/10, which gives us 1 2/10, plus 1x, which gives us 2 2/10 x. So we have 2 2/10 x is equal to 33. To get x by itself, we'll divide by 2 2/10. And dividing, you can go off to the side and write it out using scratch paper or your electronic scratch paper, a calculator. 33 divided by 2 2/10 gives us 15. Now remember that the 15 standing for x is a crucial piece of information, but it's not complete. We go back to our formulas and fill in 15 each place that we have the letter x. So we have 6/10 times 15, and 6/10 times 15, and 15. Well, 6/10 times 15 is 9, and so we get 9 and 9. The only thing left now is to determine what the units are, so we'll return to the original problem, and we notice that the only unit of length we're told is meters. And so we have 9 meters, 9 meters, and 15 meters for our 3 sides of that isosceles triangle. 9 meters, 9 meters, and 15 meters. Now I'm going to give you 2 exercises involving perimeter. The first one says, the perimeter of a rectangle is 140 inches. The length is 10 inches more than the width. Find the length and width of the rectangle. Copy this down accurately so that you can work it from these words. The perimeter of a rectangle is 140 inches. The length is 10 inches more than the width. Find the length and width of the rectangle. Second exercise. The perimeter of an isosceles triangle is 30 centimeters. Each of the equal sides is 6 centimeters less than the third side. Find the length of each side. Once again, the perimeter of an isosceles triangle is 30 centimeters. Each of the equal sides is 6 centimeters less than the third side. Find the length of each side. As soon as you have these copied, stop the tape, work the problems, then restart the tape to compare your answers with mine. Here are the answers. For exercise 1, length is 40 inches, width is 30 inches. For exercise 2, the 3 sides are 8 centimeters, 8 centimeters, and 14 centimeters. If you made a mistake, try to find it yourself. If you can't, then be sure to mark it so that you can get help from your professor or a lab instructor.